Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Oafdiscussions. I am your host, Kid Swift. With me, as always, is Mr. Brent, but he is off right now and getting himself a nice beverage. He will be back momentarily with me.
That word.
With me as well as Mr. Webb.
Hey, how you doing?
And Chyna, what is going on?
Hello.
Okay. What's going on? How's everybody doing? We're back again, another week. Thank you guys for hanging in there with us last week. Had some weird technical stuff, but I mean, hey, that happens.
Apologies.
Yeah, apologies about that. But yeah, we're back again. There are more things that have that we've experienced throughout the week. There are more things that have outraged us than outraged other people throughout the week. So, of course, we always have many things to discuss. But as always, we will start off with the same way we always do. I'll start with Webb. Webb, how was your week, sir? How are you doing? Except for I almost died.
It's all the pressure.
Oh, no, not me first.
What's going on, world? How y'all doing? As far as how my week went, I kind of forgot to mention some things. I watched the first season of Dear White People.
Okay.
Which was an adaptation of the movie Dear White People.
Did you like it?
I enjoyed it for the most part. There was a couple parts where it was just kind of going like, well, it was kind of also my same problem with the movie too, which we could probably discuss that when we do a little video on that.
Right.
But it was kind of like, well, wait, this is kind of like this ain't really for black people. It's literally called Dear White People.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
And it's kind of like a way to kind of educate, well, not really, or educate in a satirical manner.
Inform.
As far as like how black people are, and just kind of like don't sit there and marginalize us in a way. But there's some parts of it where it gets a little overly preachy. And as far as the people that they would be trying to educate, I feel like they weren't really going to be watching it because the title was going to piss them off to begin with. Right. Which kind of, if you look at the comment section of the movie, or when the first trailer came out, if you look at the comment section of when the trailer for the Netflix show came out, yeah, there's a lot of people that need educating, and they're not going to fucking watch it to begin with. So
right.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
Right.
What are you going to do? So I completely forgot to mention that. Also last week I ended up watching Michael Bay's second Ninja Turtles movie.
Okay.
And
I still need to watch that one.
It was on Amazon.
Right.
And I just went ahead and just watched it because it was on Prime. It was also on Hulu, but whatever.
Gotcha.
I was watching it, and it was just kind of like, you know what? I think I've outgrown Ninja Turtles. Just based on
That's
watching.
What it came to you?
And just how that felt. It was just kind of going like, you know what? If I was 15, 20 years younger,
right,
I would be jumping out of my seat at this movie. Possibly. Most likely.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
It's the funny, it'd have been if you were jumping out of if you were 15 years younger now instead of like obviously 15 years younger when it came out for us. Because two totally different like comedy beats, two totally different like times.
Yeah.
So there was jokes and stuff that are like way like back that are in like the first and second, third ones that are like now like outdated.
Yes, yeah, it's like some of the stuff that just doesn't hold up.
Right, yeah, and vice versa. So,
Ninja rap.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, but yeah, even now it's just kind of going like a lot of the jokes that I was sitting there watching. It was just kind of going like, oh god, I'm too old for this shit.
Right. Yeah.
It's like this is what people our generation. Baby boomers and stuff, so they look down on people with comic book movies and shit.
They're like, why the hell are they watching this?
I also ended up watching the first season of Glow, which was dope as far as you know, getting into it. As far as like, it's kind of a wrestling. Yes, it's really good.
Yeah,
as far as the wrestling is more or less the backdrop.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
It's not the main focus.
Right.
But it doesn't look at it in a way of like parody or anything like. Well, I mean, yeah, in a way, it kind of was parody because it was the '80s and shit was over the top when it came to wrestling.
Right, absolutely. I really like that intro. That intro's dope.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, the intro's really good.
But as of this week, I went back to binge watching TV.
Okay, that works.
Well, before that, let me make it sound like I did something productive.
Okay.
I'm back on Anime Studio. I want to start getting back to drawing and getting back to doing some actual animation. And go
Very
from
nice.
there. I started taking some guitar lessons, using certain apps and going for YouTube videos.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, that's about it as far as productive goes. I went back to watching TV after practicing.
Right. Yeah.
So I finished the second season of Attack on Titan.
Not okay.
That season finale. Oh my god.
I heard it's pretty.
Oh god.
I heard it, and one of the things that this is funny because like I haven't seen it yet, but I was listening to Super Best Friends cast. They were kind of like talking about it this week.
Oh, I missed that.
And he was basically like trying not to spoil it. And one of the things that I was interested in, that I guess now that you obviously have watched it, is apparently there's a part where he said like that Pat really liked, where it was like they kind of brought up something that was like this pivotal thing, and then immediately answered the question about it.
Oh, okay.
Like just immediately was just like he was like
normally with
like something that would be drawn out.
Like with certain anime or certain cartoons and stuff like that. Hell, even Attack on Titan did that in the first season.
Right? Yeah,
they
absolutely.
had a certain little mystery, and they drug it out a little bit. Not to the point where it was just kind of like, oh, when are they gonna solve it? But it was just kind of to the point where they feed you a little bit at a time with the mystery, and you was kind of like, okay, well, I want to know more. Okay, well, that wasn't enough. It was like 22 minutes ain't enough. With this, like, they just straight up just kind of like a question was asked
and then immediately answered. He was like, "We're doing this now, like right now. We're just gonna we're just gonna get out of the way. Fuck it."
It was like, like
that's great.
Season 2, solve for X, and then all of a sudden, well, the answer for X is blah blah blah. It was like, hold on, I didn't even work it out. Let me.
Exactly. I have my paper out. I have my graph paper ready to go. And that's funny.
Yeah, man, that last episode is emotional.
I heard it's good.
It's emotional.
Yeah. Nice.
I
need to see that.
Attack on Titan, and I finished. Speaking of second seasons, I finished Master and None.
Okay.
Last night, binged the shit out of it.
Nice. I heard it's amazing.
I loved it, especially the episode where I can't remember which number it was, where they kind of diverted attention away from Aziz and just kind of went around the city about random people.
Yeah.
And as far as, and then for it to come right back around to Aziz was dope as hell.
Nice.
It was, you can tell that they were really trying to experiment and shit with that movie. And then
isn't it set in
I said movie season.
No, yeah. Is it set in Paris? Is it set outside of the US?
Spoilers if you haven't seen his first season, but he leaves for Italy.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And then he comes back to New York.
Okay, nice.
Gotcha. And then also, seeing Kim Whitley and Angela Bassett in an episode.
Oh, nice.
That was a real good episode.
They do really good with casting, especially casting like comedians and stuff like that are.
And the cameos and guest stars that showed up in this season
ridiculous.
Were random as hell, but it's it's like, okay, I didn't know that you had pulled like that to sit there and put this person here, or I don't know why the hell you decided to bring this person out of all people, but I'm glad you did.
Right, yeah.
It's just like some of these cameos and guest stars it was nice. Well done. Nice. So bravo for Netflix, bravo for Aziz.
Very nice.
So that is with that. So yeah, I basically didn't do shit, but at the same time I started shit.
Nice.
So it's give or take.
That works. Cool. Very nice. Well, since we're waiting on Brent still, Chyna, how was your week? What's been going on? How you been doing?
I've been doing well, just recovering from vacation. I got back in town on Wednesday night and immediately had to work Thursday and Friday.
Geez.
So I'm welcoming the weekend to just do nothing, but then I end up cutting grass when I say I'm going to do nothing. So doing yard work, and now I'm here.
Very nice. Vacation was good?
It was great. It was nice. We spent forever at the beach, which was really cool.
Nice.
It was kind of crazy because it was like a shallow water, and then it got really deep, and then it got shallow again. It was one of those things.
Huh. That's
and it was such a far swim to get to the shallow area, but we were trying to collect shells, so we're like, fuck it, let's go. And my husband and his nephew cannot swim very well.
Okay.
So
gotcha.
Me and a friend kind of booked it and just got really fucking tired getting over there. And then they went and rented boogie boards and they came back.
With vehicles.
Slowly stroked their way over there. It was the most hilarious thing I'd ever seen.
Nice.
We have a GoPro video of it, so that's going to be great.
Okay. Nice. Very good.
We hung out there. It was just so exhausting afterwards, but it was a beautiful day at the beach. And then went and had some awesome, I don't know if you saw my tweet, but we had some really awesome boiled seafood.
Oh, nice.
It's one of those places you get like a huge platter. You got like mussels, clams, crab, all that stuff.
Oh, nice.
So it was delicious. I missed the food already, but it was good.
Yeah, it's definitely some food you can get used to, especially being close to the water, that close to the water.
Exactly.
Yeah. Very nice, very nice. Is Brent back? I keep looking back to see if he's back
No.
because I'm for the listener. The camera's behind, the screen's behind me because I'm looking at Webb because I was like, that'd be rude for me to just sit with my back turned to him and just looking at the computer. So I keep checking back to see if Brent's there. Well, since Brent's not back, we'll wait for him to get back. Nothing.
Did he go to Liquor Barn?
I was about to say he got a couple.
He said he was going.
I think he's making cocktails. Like he's not making shots.
I think them shots did him in.
He just passed out.
I thought he was taking them with him or bringing them with him.
He just passed out in the kitchen. But yeah, so another good week. Can't complain too much. Had some interesting things. I'll actually tell this on the air because I think it should be known because most people don't know exactly where I work and who gives a shit. It was their decision. They made it, whatever. But so this was an interesting thing, that kind of like a conundrum, if you will, that came up on Friday. But so there was a story, and this is all public, so who gives a shit anyway? There was a story that we were working on. There was a lady who had service dogs, 2 of them, and she went into one of the local furniture stores here in town. So she goes inside the furniture store. The owner comes and immediately greets her and kind of in lesser words tells her like, look, you have to leave. I don't want the dogs in my store. And she was like, look, I have the license for the dogs. One's an emotional support dog for PTSD. The other one is a dog that is being trained for my severe allergies and stuff that I have. So like allergies on the scale that like if I have a certain thing come in contact with this woman, she will perish like very quickly or have a chance to. So basically what it is one is an emotional support dog for PTSD. So basically it's there to constantly give her comfort in any like high stress situations or like around a lot of people.
That I get.
The other one can detect not only from being presented with something or in the air if there are any things that she is allergic to that he can respond to.
Okay.
So if he detects something, he'll go ape shit. And he'll be like, yo, like fucking there's something in here and it's bad and it's gonna make you sick.
Okay, that wording was throwing me off as far as like a dog specifically for allergies. So I was like, is he gonna sit there and just run and get an EpiPen and inject it in her?
No, well, most of the time what you see in like those instances where it is something that involves an EpiPen is usually the dog has a vest that has the EpiPen or the medicine on them, so that way they can go alert somebody. That person can see, oh, there's an EpiPen on here, and they see what to do. And
even. Yeah. Almost better than what I had envisioned.
I do like the dog injecting the person themselves. That's great. If we could train dogs to do that, that'd be excellent. But, so here's what happened. Came out. She basically got kicked out of the furniture store because the owner didn't want dogs in the store because he didn't want, like, dog dander on the furniture, et cetera, et cetera. The kind of stuff you would expect.
All right.
He wasn't having it when she showed her that she had the license and everything. So it progressed. We were going to do the story, and our boss finds out that we're going to do the story, and then basically puts a halt on the story because now he tried to basically dress it up like, oh, the reason why I did it is because we want to make sure I guess that that she has a serious enough condition that would warrant any kind of like backlash or anything like that.
Okay.
Come to find out, really, what I think and what my reporter thinks as well is the main issue is the fact that they're one of our biggest sponsors, and that would look bad to put them in that light. So it was just something I wanted to share with people too as well, because like a lot of people get pissed off and say there's a lot of this is the kind of stuff across the board. Even though I work for this industry, I want people to be mindful and make sure to put pressure on whatever local news entities or anything like that they have in their area to make sure you're not being fed stuff or not being fed stuff based purely on the fact of who the highest bidder is. Because that is fundamentally wrong, especially when it comes to press coverage. That's the whole reason people hate on the press now, and that's the reason why Trump has been able to drum up all this negativity toward the press using very, not real, but very vague examples of this exact thing happening, when honestly, sometimes it does, because that's the way they keep the lights on. They have to have sponsors. That's the way the business works. But at the same time, it's one of those situations where, as reporters, photogs, whatever you call it, you still want to make sure it doesn't come just out of the gate negative, when there may be some level of adjustment that needed to be made, or something along those lines. But basically, it comes down to the main thing, and the whole crux of the whole situation that kind of made it a negative thing is, by law, by the United States Disabilities Act, you cannot turn away anybody who has a service dog. You actually can't even ask for proof that they are a service dog by law. Now, it's enforced differently state by state.
Okay.
It depends. So that's the interesting thing. It's just something I wanted to share, just so people can be mindful, not as a, because I don't want people to take it in the way of like a detriment to like your local media and stuff like that, because I work in that industry.
Which is kind of funny, because this would have came across more like, as well, it's kind of funny. It's like, if that story were to get out,
right,
would there be complaints about all this PC culture bullshit? It's in there just like, oh, just quit bringing your dogs and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Just like, get over it and this, that.
And interestingly enough, like I've done probably 3 or 4 of these stories. These types of stories where somebody has had a service dog, went into an establishment and been turned away. In pretty much every case, we've talked to the manager, and the manager has been like, I wasn't here. It was a misunderstanding. My lower employees, which I don't want to mean as a negative, but
my minions.
Yeah, my minions were not informed or did not know exactly what the law entails. That's usually the way they have all gone, almost expectedly so, because usually a business owner is going to try to protect and deflect any kind of negativity, especially of this level, especially when it comes to something along the lines of what could be seen as discrimination. But in this case, the owner of this business stood his ground, said he doesn't think it's a law that needs to be in place. He thinks it's silly, and he has a lot of people that are on his side too, which kind of plays perfectly into what you just said, Webb, where there probably would have been a number of people who would have been like, why is she ever dog?
Why is this even news?
Yeah, why is this even news type thing? It's interesting. You kind of have to walk this line.
Yeah. As far as where do you move the fence posts or to go? Yeah.
Right, exactly. But I just want people to be mindful of these types of situations that happen every day in every fucking outlet in this country. And just make sure, because my biggest thing was, here was my biggest thing. And I made this clear, especially to my reporter, because we're cool and we talk about this kind of stuff. But I was like, look, here's the way I think about it is, it's a dog now. It is it's being seen as, especially on her part, as a discrimination to somebody who has a service dog and the person not wanting the service dog. My problem is, if that owner had maybe said something racial or something along those lines to a customer, then we go after the story, and that gets swept under the rug because they pay, because they are one of the bigger. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So that's my thing. Another thing, where do we move the fence post? If he can get away with this, which I don't want to say get away like it's a crime, but it technically is wrong. How much shit can you get away with?
Yeah, it's not a crime. It's just more of an ethical thing.
Yeah, exactly. How much ethical stuff can be swept in the rug simply because you're writing the check with more zeros on it? Okay. That's the thing that I worry about. And even work in this industry, I want people to be aware of it, because people need to be. Because they watch this shit every night. They need to understand what's going on.
Nah, he's still in here.
Is Brent dead? Like, okay, he's dead.
I'm looking,
Jesus
just waiting for
Christ.
a head to just pop into the screen, but nah, he is.
He must have went to Liquor Barn and got it. Shayna, what do you think, though, about what I just said, like kind of all that stuff?
I really appreciate you saying that, because in common sense, I feel like I kind of knew that.
Yeah.
But you hope for the best, that they're going to be integrity, and they won't do that.
Right.
Because that's what the media was originally based on. That's what it was for, to tell the truth, to bring awareness. But it's a business at the end of the day.
Right.
And it sucks. It really sucks, because now we need the truth more than ever.
Absolutely. And that's the interesting thing, because, like, this is just in the case of, like, obviously media, but there are many other cases where this situation comes up, whether it's, I mean, it could be anything from a doctor's office to
and there's two different ways.
Hospital, I mean, anything, a park, whatever. I mean, different stuff, like Parks and Recs organizations, a school, whatever. There's always this situation of, am I not getting a piece of information simply because someone who has the money doesn't want me to get that piece of information?
Yeah.
I think that's the scariest thing.
And there's also two different ways that story could have been told too.
Absolutely.
As far as who is depicted as the victim, who is depicted as the person that is oppressed.
Yeah.
And go from there. It depends, like, whether it be, for example, if Fox News was telling the story, or if CNN News was telling the story, or actually no, more over to the other side, like MSNBC maybe.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Had it been like two different, one would be sitting there and be saying like the businessman is being oppressed for sitting there trying to uphold, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And then the other side, it would be, the woman was like kind of discriminated against.
Right.
And,
yeah.
In a sense, based on if you stated that's exactly what is law, then yes, she was.
Right. And big kudos on my reporter and all the reporters that we have, because we gave the owner of the business the chance to speak as well and first, which we always do. You always have to get both sides of the story. You can't just get the person who's like mad about them getting kicked out. You need to get their side of the story too, so it balances out, and that way you have both, and then you can present that to an audience, and then they can make the decision, because that's the way it's supposed to work. But he wasn't interested in talking. But I mean, regardless,
would this story have been able to get passed on to another?
That's the interesting thing. I mean, it could, obviously, because the thing is, any public person, if they have some kind of story or anything like that, they can contact the press. It just happened to be that they contacted our particular entity first.
Yeah, and that, I mean, or if anything, you could sit there and just hand it off to the internet.
Yeah,
I mean, because there's journalists that don't have any affiliation, so
right, exactly.
They can sit there and kind of pass it along.
Yeah, that's the thing, especially like the interesting thing, especially in this day and age, where like if this would have been 20, 30 years ago, this story, she tries to present this story and it falls through. After that, it's pretty much it. Like, it's dead in the water.
Yeah.
But nowadays, I mean, she could take it on Facebook herself and do what.
Probably still end up getting lost in the shuffle.
Exactly. And the thing was, here was the thing. Because every time something like this happens, and there's a lot of different situations, whether it's something like where it's a service dog, or whether it's like somebody felt like they were wronged in a business in general, you always want to be careful and make sure somebody doesn't have an ulterior motive, because they will use the media in order to get what they want. So if somebody wanted to like sue somebody, then they'll be like, all right, I'm going to smudge him on the news, and then I'll win the case no matter what. She said flat out, like, I will not pursue anything as far as like along the lines of like doing anything negative to hurt him. Is all I want is him to apologize and let me buy furniture at his store. That's it. Like, and after that, I'm fine. So that was one of the things usually that's telling that somebody isn't just trying to make a buck out of it, or just trying to like just besmudge somebody's name. So it's just something that, and I'll try to like, as much as I can, which I mean, I can't, it's a public fucking business, so who gives a shit? I'll try to bring you, as far as talking to the audience now, I will try to bring you guys as much as I possibly can, or that I see that like is important along these lines to you guys, so people have more of an understanding of what goes on within the media, whether it be negative or positive. Because like Chyna said, in this day and age, we need that transparency more than ever, because we have a president that's constantly trying to basically bubble up all the negative shit, or negative shit that's not even there in most cases. So I'll do what I can to try to like hopefully inform as much as possible. If some shit don't make the news that I feel like makes the news, and I'll bring it here. Fuck it. Because who cares? I mean, it's public. Yeah, it's public thing. Most shit is public records. If it's a publicly traded business, they have to. If it's something with a politician, they have to give it out. Just because I have access to it in my job on a daily basis, anybody could go find out whether it be the salary or somebody got fired at a public, whether it's like a senator or whatever. Everybody has access to this knowledge, but just if I can be one less barrier, I guess you could say, to try to just say fuck it, because everybody don't want to go down to the courthouse and research a bunch of dumb shit. But if it's in the story I'm doing anyway, then fine. It's might as well. Like the bitter, I don't know if you know this, but it's funny because to watch from the other side of just the fact that Matt Bevin and Andy Brashear just it's like watching two stepbrothers that can't stand each other. It's the funny, they hate each other so bad. And I know this is inside baseball for anybody who's not from our state, but it's just funny to see the relationship or negative / toxic relationship between two people that have to work together for their state. And it happens everywhere. So just be mindful. Keep your eyes open. Brent's dead. Fuck it. We're going on. Brent's dead. Brent drunk something. I don't know what he drunk. He drunk
bleach.
Bleach. Pixie blood. I don't know what it was. It was weird. But so moving on. Some of the other things that I did this week, I guess we can transition into this, is I finally listened through Jay-Z's 444. I know Chyna, you did too, because you were sending messages about it.
Yes.
And I have to say, after listening through it, and then after watching the Story of OJ video multiple times, I really like it. I really do like it. It has the. I'm trying to think of the way, the interesting thing, I was thinking about, obviously throughout, if you heard last week's episode, is what Brent said as far as the break of cadence, the kind of
yes,
going off beat, rhythm,
almost like a almost spoken word type.
Yeah, and the thing was, it wasn't even like he was going completely off beat. It was almost like if somebody shifted the time signature, because he would still be on rhythm.
Yeah,
but it would just be off kilt a little bit. So it's almost like going from 4/4 to 3/4. It was a weird shift that you kind of have to adjust to mentally, because your brain is basically trying to predict where the words should go.
And that's usually where the most important shit he has to say would come in on the part where it was kind of off.
Yeah, which is interesting because it draws attention to itself.
Yeah.
But then it's off, so you're kind of wait a minute, let me adjust real quick.
Well, I didn't get that vibe as far as having to go as far as being off rhythm.
No, I mean,
we're not off. You're not off kilter, as you said there saying, but granted, I'm not saying that you're hearing is wrong.
I'm just trying to think.
But it's in a sense
the best way to say it.
Yeah.
There's you can hear a clear adjustment in, I guess, more so pace.
Well, yeah, because in a way, when you sit there and listen to, it's nowhere near as bad as it used to be at one point when kind of in that area between 2000 and I'll say 2010, from 2000 to 2010, where somebody will sit there and spit a certain flow for 4 bars, and then the next 4 bars, it's a completely different type of rhythm. It's da 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 da, and then ba 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 ba.
Yeah,
and
right.
It's kind of where they did a complete switch, and it's kind of going okay, I know you didn't write this shit at the same in one sitting.
Right.
It's kind of that type of
rhythm back. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, I really like. I mean, the production, as far as on the production side, it still stands. I love that from the first few songs I heard before I got to actually listen through it. But after listening through it again, and researching the fact, I didn't know that No ID basically did the whole thing, and pretty much they were talking about how Jay-Z went to him and was look, I got some shit to say. This is what I'm going to talk about. And he just went away. And then No ID was just all right. And he just went to town. And some of the stuff that he came up with, that story of OJ beat, and the fact that he layers in some songs 3 and 4 different samples from anywhere from Biggie to the Fugees to I mean, old school stuff. I mean, it's great, and it fits perfectly with what he wanted to say, I feel like. But no, I really enjoyed it. I really, really like that Story of OJ video. Like, I really do. It's great. Just doing it in that style, and it fits perfectly with like with the lyrics and everything. And yeah, I really like it. So, but Chyna, what did you think? Like, after you got a chance to listen to it more than just that one time, did it grow on you, or?
It definitely grew on me. Like, I put it in my offline content now. I thought it was brilliant, though. I had to get used to the cadence, like you said. It was just, for me, it was off compared to everything else I'd been listening to. But once I caught on to it, I really enjoyed it. I have to say my favorite song on there is probably Caught Their Eyes.
Okay.
Or
is it
Legacy?
Legacy. Legacy. Yeah, Legacy's beats really good.
It really is.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah.
But
it's great.
Prior to this, like, I'm not going to act like I was a Jay-Z fan or anything, so I'm not too familiar with all of his music. Like, I've heard, like, the hits, the singles,
right.
Whatever they play in the clubs and stuff. But I'm just now starting to get into him. But this is the first whole album I've listened to. I would say, yeah, it's good. I can't say it's a classic, but I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's definitely where I'm at, because and I think one of the biggest things, hurdles, I guess you could say, that he kind of had, but it was just kind of like a trouble of expectation, because, like, I know going into it, I was looking at it like, is this going to be finally the one where we're able to say, all right, it's time to hang it up. Like, it's one of those things. I
would have thought that with Magna Carta.
Well, yeah, that too. And the thing is, a lot of people don't like it, but at the same time, a lot of people do.
This person doesn't.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So there's this interesting thing that's back and forth that's kind of been happening, and obviously people are still very much interested in what he has to say, because the damn album went platinum in less than a week, like it was nothing. And he obviously has something to say still, because he fucking said it, and it was good. There's proof in the album itself. So, I mean, I enjoyed it. Like I said, I like the whole theme behind it. I like that music video is great. Just doing something that different along those lines when you're somebody that's been doing it for this long, I think is really cool. But yeah.
What do you think about the outrage behind it? Like, the other rappers kind of took it to the chest a little bit.
It seems like I mean, and here's the thing: I expected it, because a part of me expected it, but maybe not this much.
I figured it. I mean, it's kind of died down at this point. Instance, the only only prominent people that I seen were reactions to the money to the ear line.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Future sit there and made a little joke. Like, had a little joke where he sit there and snapped his a picture of himself still putting money to his ear.
Yeah,
and said, "You ain't got the juice like that."
Right.
And it was kind of going, oh, people were sitting there trying to cape for him. It was like, oh, he wasn't talking about Jay-Z. He was talking about Russell Wilson. Nigga, Russell Wilson still got more money than Future, so I don't know what you mean.
Yeah, exactly.
And he sit there and especially with that Jay-Z line, it was like, in the future, niggas are playing football with your son.
That was the best. That was the best one, because one of the best things I saw that came out of that is they were like, yeah, put the money to the ear, and we can't hear it over here. There must be a disconnect. And then the Future line, and then it was like it said that, and then it was like it said that line, and then it was like Future. What do you say about money to the ear? Like, you completely ignored that part. Like, that was the line for him, really.
Well, it was more, it's kind of like a defiance type of shit.
Right,
especially it's like, you ain't got the juice like that. It's like, nah,
right.
Don't come at me sitting there making jokes about my kid. And
right.
It's like, well, you kind of walked into it. It's like, exactly. You kind of walked into it.
Come on.
And then for Boosie to sit there going like, nah, that's something we do in New Orleans, man. Don't sit there and worry about it. It's like, that's what we do. That's what we do. And it's just like,
really?
All right.
I'm like,
I mean, that's a way of life. That's just all this other, this, that, and the other. And it's
I
just
was
kind
unaware.
Of it's like,
I didn't know that was a New Orleans thing.
I haven't seen any kind of strong, any strong arguments.
Yeah, like,
those are the only two I've ever.
Yeah,
those are the only two rebuttals I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And people that are fans of them that are like any stands of them. They're fans that are smarter than that, but the stands for those two are gonna sit there and just cape for them regardless. So there's that. Yeah. And at the same time, there was this one dude to sit there and saying like, nah, you gonna sit there and talk about me being or needing to be secure or be mature, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
And like, nigga, weren't you sitting there doing all this stuff when you were younger? It's like, yeah, he was younger. He's telling you to stop doing that shit now. It's like,
right. It's like, that's the whole point.
That's kind of what he's talking about. It's like, nah, you don't sit there and get to do all this shit, and then and now that you out of it, and now that you're out of the drug game, and now that you sitting there matured and got a wife and kids and a business and damn near a billionaire, nah, you don't get to talk to me like this as a person that's not even 30 yet and
it's
still
like,
broke. And
right, exactly. It's like, wait, you're taking it the wrong way.
It's like, yeah.
I love that reaction.
And it's kind of like, you know, they got, in a sense, well, before Bill Cosby got Bill Cosby out the paint, back when he would sit there and do these like keynotes, I think. I remember he was in there talking about far as like black people needing to do better.
Yeah.
And then like folks in there trying to get, they got him out the paint, and then he got himself out the paint. But
right,
you know, that's a topic for another day.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
So yeah, as far as like, you know, it's just more along. There's always gonna be. It's like, nah, old person, don't tell me how to live my life.
Right. Yeah.
And
exactly.
Then,
absolutely. Yeah. And that was the thing too. I think he did it well in a way that it didn't come across completely like old man on his lawn. Oh, it didn't come across like get off my lawn.
Nah.
Like
it's more like get yourself something where you can have your own lawn.
It's
type
exactly.
Shit.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
That you can tell other people to get off of.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Then you can tell somebody else to get off your lawn. But yeah, other than that, listening through that, I also took a chance and listened to 21 Savage's album.
I need to.
One of the best, because good guy I used to always see around, a friend of ours that we used to see around constantly. Pharaoh, you remember Pharaoh?
Okay.
I think he lives in Louisville now, I believe. But one of his best tweets that I've seen. Was on the same day it came out, and it was one of those where you know exactly what he was talking about. But the reporter that I work with a lot, he was like, "Yeah, you gotta listen to the album." He said it's just called "It's an Album," and I was like, I thought it was gonna be called that. I was like, it's a goofy, and then like
it's a goofy. You say it's a goofy?
No, I was like, yeah. I was like, it's goofy, yeah. And then like later on that same day, I saw Pharaoh tweet, and he just put "It's a trash," and I was like, oh man. And then I went and I listened to it, and I made it through most of it, but it didn't even like, I'm not like a huge fan of his, but there wasn't even like a couple songs on there like there were on the last one. Like on the last one he had X, which I liked that song. I mean, it was fine, and it hit. It was nice. And then I can't remember what the other one. Oh yeah, Young hard. Savage, Why You Trapping So Hard. Yeah.
I like that one.
Yeah, that was good. Really like those were good. Like
even though he sounds like that's what's so funny about his flow, his style.
So like just
he sounds like he's like rehearsing. No, he sounds like he's listening to headphones on the bus
and writing. Like he's writing. Like
and he doesn't want to. And he doesn't. Or like
Savage.
Or he's video chatting with somebody and he don't want to wake his parents up.
Yeah, exactly.
Or wake his roommate up, and he's using his roommate's computer. He don't want to wake him up while he's video chatting. I just want to sit there.
Right.
While I'm trying to say.
It's what he does. It's insane.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Oafdiscussions.
Right.
I'm your host. Yeah.
That's exactly what he does.
Fucking bass.
Right. Say something. Scream, holler, something. But this album, it's kind of absent of any of those, like, even those two, like, something on that level. It's sonically, it sounds pretty much the same, because I think Metro Boomin did most of it, except for some.
Okay.
And they're real close, so they, like, usually, that's the way he got found. But, yeah, it's funny, and, like, the comment I made to somebody when I was listening to it is I was like, I've heard this album before 1,000 times at Al's Bar. Like the cadence, the delivery, and the quality. I've heard this, like everything.
Open mics and shit.
Yeah, and I've heard it. Like this is exactly so. It kind of, the thing that sucked. It kind of like took a step back where even before him sounding kind of like you said, kind of like he just like he doesn't even want to rap. He still somehow stood out in some way, shape, or form. But then with this one, he just kind of blends back in, and you're just like, it just gets lost in the shuffle. So I don't know.
Have you
check it out if you guys get a chance? But it's
I said I like that song. Is it Why You Trapping So Hard? Yeah, but like the funniest shit I've seen is Genius's video of him are breaking down the lyrics for that song.
Yeah, I've seen
that video is fucking hilarious because he sounds the exact same way.
He does. Yeah, that's like,
him. Young Savage, why you trapping so hard? And I was sitting there just with that line. I just wanted to sit there like, it's the niggas asking why you trapping so hard, and it's like he would sit there and say the line and then explain it, and like there really wasn't any explanation needed for it.
It's just the same line. He just uses the line to explain it.
And that's basically how it went.
Yeah.
And then for him to sit there and just like for that same enthusiasm, all from the beginning to the end of the video.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of going like, why is he? I'm like, because I didn't listen. That was before I even heard the song, and I was going like, does he not know his fucking words? Why is he sitting there practicing? Like, right. Is he just now finding out what these words are?
He's like, oh yeah, I did say that. Why? What
is he analyzing somebody else's lyrics and he's just trying to figure out what they meant? But nah. And then I listened to it and I was like, okay, yeah, I see, yeah. It's like flip mode.
Yeah, you're right.
Flip mode is the greatest.
Flip mode's greatest. So good. But yeah, I mean that's his style through and through. Even though when I watch Brent's still not back, I just keep looking back. It's so funny. But even through all that, not really enjoying the album that much. When I watched that Vice documentary on Atlanta, that gave me more respect for him. Okay. Even though I don't like his music as much, but still like as a whole, overall. Same thing happened with Yachty.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny. You're just like, oh yeah, he's just a kid. And the same thing with 21 Savage. Like, no, this Negro is terrifying. like if I saw him in real life, I'd be like, okay. But yeah, it's funny. But yeah, if you guys get a chance, check it out if you want to. It's 21 Savage, especially if you like 21 Savage.
Run from Amber Rose as quick as possible, man.
Right, yeah,
as quick as possible.
Yeah, get the hell out of there. But yeah. So moving on from that, we can move into the outrage of the week. We did like a graphic.
Yeah, so we discussed the only as a fan portion of Oafdiscussions.
Yeah,
and now with Oaf, let's get into the outraged as fuck.
Yeah, outrage as fuck. A weekly segment brought to you by the good folks at Oafdiscussions to break down and explain all the things that pissed us and you off throughout the week.
Should we go heavy or should we just do kind of something or just kind of just like tit for tat on something?
Do you want to?
Because I got one that's kind of they're kind of tit for tat.
Okay.
But the gravity of those topics.
What do you want to do, Chyna?
Do you want to do something light or drop into something heavy?
Let's go light.
Okay.
All right,
just chill.
That works. Yeah. She's still on vacation mode, so she said do something light.
All right. Yeah, I wouldn't blame you. I wouldn't have left.
Right. Yeah. What you got?
Trust me, it was hard. Like, I wanted to call into work so bad. Actually, I did call into one extra day because I was just like, I need to be here. And it ended up being like the best day of vacation.
That's awesome.
So it was like everything worked out so perfectly that day. I was like, God was talking to me. He told me to stay my ass here.
He said, just take one more day. It's fine.
Exactly.
It's fine. Just take one more
day. It was rough coming back, but
very
responsibilities.
Nice.
And I had 3 topics, and I forgot. Chyna had a 4th. That was I actually forgot about it, and a lot of people did, but we'll come back to that one.
Okay. Yeah.
So first one was just something simple. David Beckham got fussed at by his by some of his fans and people in general were criticizing him for posting a picture on Instagram with him and his 5-year-old daughter Harper, and the picture was him kissing her on the mouth.
Right.
People flip the fuck out about it. It's like, I mean,
what is wrong with people?
Some people lost their mind.
And and then other people in as far as his wife Victoria Beckham, aka Posh Spice.
Yep. I always forget that.
Came to the defense and sit there and posted a picture doing the exact same thing.
Right.
Hillary Duff did the same thing with her son.
Yeah.
Then the people. Oh well, actually, she had brought that up as a matter of fact a couple years back. Now that I think about it, it was like back in.
That was back in 2014.
She got fussed at last year about kissing her son.
I remember that. I forgot it was that recent. I thought it was farther back.
I thought it was a couple years ago too, but no, that was last year when that happened. So, thoughts, opinions, seeing as how y'all have kids.
Chyna, you want to start with this?
I don't know why people always sexualize a parent's relationship with their kids. It is so stupid. Like, there's something wrong with them. Like, a parent can't hug their kid, they can't kiss them a certain way. Like, everyone freaks out. It's ridiculous.
Right. And that's the thing. That's what it seems like. It seems like it's something on whoever
the person. Yeah,
the people that are getting outraged. It's something
that's more a reflection on you. It seems like.
Exactly. That you're like Chyna said, you're over sexualizing something that doesn't need to be sexualized at all. Obviously, especially
it's like, who hurt you, love? Have you never been shown affection ever that wasn't sexual? Like, what's the issue?
Exactly. Yeah. Sexual and a high five. That's all these people are getting. And anytime they see anything beyond that, they fucking lose their mind. And I don't understand it. But yeah, like you said, it seems like it's just straight up over sexualizing that happens on their end, and then they see it and they're like, oh, like I don't understand it.
I mean, what is that? It's like, were you just not kissed in general as a child? It happens. I mean, I've kissed my father on the lips,
right?
Or I'm saying I kissed my dad on the lips. It was as a kid. I'm sorry, I'm not as far as being grown.
It wasn't recently. It wasn't last week.
It's like
it was a long time ago. Shut up.
You know, when I as a kid, I was sitting to go to bed. It was like, all right, bye, I love you. Or it was like, hug and kiss.
Yeah.
Hug and kiss my parents.
Yeah.
Go to bed.
Right.
Every now and then, it's like sometimes it's like, you know, whatever. Oh, well, then it is what it is.
Right. Yeah.
Love you. Bye.
Go pee, go bed.
Go pee, go bed. Yeah. It's an over sexualized thing, and especially you know. So we're getting on that, but as far as we got people sitting there calling, you know, like as far as the sexualizing things, like calling their boyfriends or girlfriends papi or daddy and shit like that.
Right.
I hate zaddy. I can't fucking stand zaddy.
I can't stand it.
It's like, it just hits the ear
it does.
every fucking thing, man.
It makes the back of my neck hurt. It makes me. I can't. It does. It sounds so stupid.
It's
yeah. I don't know where that came from.
I don't want to know.
It's me neither.
Because it always comes across as like,
it's like you're trying to fake an accent. Is what it always comes across to me. That's what it seems like to me, and I don't understand where the hell it came from.
I can't make any sense of it, and it's just kind of like, as far as I've only seen. Hopefully, it's not something taken seriously. I've never as far
I haven't seen it. Yeah, I haven't seen it.
But no, but back to the papi and mommy and daddy,
right?
And like that kind of comes across a little Oedipal. I don't know the opposite of Oedipal as far as for like the father's side. But yeah, and that comes across kind of in that sense.
Yeah, I thought you said edible at first.
No, I'm sorry, not Oedipus. Like Oedipus, Oedipus Rex complex type shit.
That's funny. Okay, yeah. That's the interesting thing. That's what I don't understand where it comes from or where it stems from. But it seems like whenever you have these, and in a lot of these situations where it is somebody that is overreacting on something, especially along these lines, when it's a father-daughter relationship or mother-son relationship or whatever, mother-daughter relationship or any kind of parental or family-based relationship where people get upset over an action, I feel like in most cases it is a reflection on the people that are getting upset.
Yeah. Whether it be
just
a straight up absence of parental
figures. Lack of or misunderstanding or
traumatization.
Or perversion on their part. I mean, just one or the other. I mean, pick one, hell. But yeah. So I think we are pretty much staying on the same. Like, I don't know where Brent stands because Brent's probably not standing. He's probably passed out somewhere. We're gonna keep checking up on him throughout the episode, and hopefully he's alive. Yeah. So yeah, what else you got? I feel like I should call him.
I almost feel like text him or something because that's kind of.
I'm gonna send a message.
That's weird. Here, let me go ahead and get this.
You just see somebody else pick up the computer and walk.
Oh,
he's back.
Oh, there he is. Brent, I seriously I was expecting somebody like in a ski mask to like pick up the laptop and then just like close it and walk away. And then the words Finn to pop up on your Skype thing somehow.
Or they sit there and put a sticky note right on the screen. Or it's like, you have 24 hours. It's like, to do what?
Right?
To do what?
Yeah, like, wait a minute, to get him back to kill you? Like, what do you want me to do?
Yo, make sure you come for me, all right? Yeah, don't leave me out there, man. Make sure y'all. Dang, I didn't realize it was gone this long.
Yeah, dude. We've done introductions. We've done shit, we're into the angriest.
Taking shots in the shit,
right? Shots in the shit. I like that. That's a good album name.
Where we at? Hi, everybody.
Here,
I'm back.
Before, we just finished one of the first outrage topics. Brent, go ahead and tell us how your week was, though, so we can at least get back to that. Then we'll proceed thusly from there. So what you got? What you been up to, man? Besides drinking.
Besides what? Besides what?
Besides drinking.
Man, that drink good, man.
I don't blame you.
You're saying have to catch up.
I thought you were making cocktails.
Man, hey, I think we just finished 3/4 of a fifth of our handle of Jack Daniels.
Ooh, that's a lot of math.
Jesus Christ. I know, it's a lot of fractions. Oh,
yeah.
I was bad at fractions.
I'm a little warm and fuzzy right now.
I don't blame me. I dig that.
Man, my week, life's been good. Like, I'm over planning travel.
Nice.
Planning to get my traveling in.
Yeah.
Work's been interesting. I've had some highs and lows.
Okay.
I wanted to clap back at somebody at work, but can't do that in my profession.
Gotcha.
Not on the first day.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Not really. Yeah, especially not on the first day. I just realized you said that.
Not on the first day. They were trying to set me up, man. They were trying to set me up.
Was it their first day, or was this your first day on the new job?
No. It was the my first official class solo dolo.
Oh, okay, nice. Okay.
So I was working with like 30 people, and some things got said. Like, somebody was calling me out by the wrong name, and I wasn't answering. And instead of them being like, "Oh, my bad, I didn't realize I had the wrong name," they was like, "Well, if he does X, Y, and Z, I'll call him by his real name."
Was this the same thing that you told us like last week with the?
Yeah. Oh, I don't think it was recording when we.
Got we weren't recording.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Gotcha.
Fuck
so
that guy.
That was the thing. But
yeah, fuck that.
Everything's smooth from that.
Good.
You gotta get back in different ways.
It's ridiculous.
I'm over planning my birthday trip. So right now for my birthday, we're down to a few options.
Okay.
Denver.
Whoa. Nice.
New Orleans.
Talking about Denver.
Denver.
Yep.
That's that Minnesota bang bus. Denver.
Yeah. Denver.
Right.
New Orleans.
Oh, that's nice.
Wait, all in the same? Oh wait, no, your options.
No, options.
Okay.
Options. Jesus. He's gonna rent
a hell of a birthday.
He's gonna rent a Lear. Go skiing in Denver, then we're gonna fly to New Orleans.
Or is it a cruise?
Okay.
Maybe Jamaica or some Caribbean islands.
Right.
Not Bahamas, but somewhere else.
Gotcha. Just for the listener, Brent's birthday is in November, so send him many things.
many things.
Many things.
Okay.
All of the things.
All.
So that works. I've heard November's nice, and I heard New Orleans is pretty nice in November.
Well, we might be going to New Orleans. Right now it's down to like my top Canada. Canada's fourth choice.
Toronto or somewhere else?
I'm thinking Toronto, or is it Columbus? No.
You're not talking about like Quebec City, like up in that area, right?
It's not Quebec. It's supposed to be the Vegas of Canada. I gotta find out what the name is.
Because I know what's the name. I know Toronto's supposed to be.
Toronto's supposed to be nice.
Yeah, it's supposed to be nuts. It's basically New York. I mean, pretty much. It's basically New York or Chicago.
So those are the options right now. Because I wanted to go somewhere I've never been.
Right.
So Denver and New Orleans right now are winning.
Okay. Gotcha.
So those might be the options of where we're going.
You've never been to New Orleans?
Nah, I ain't never been in New Orleans.
Nice.
So,
very nice.
Oaf, we might be going to New Orleans or Denver.
I can do that.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna have to ski if we go to Denver.
Oh, whoa.
Or snowboard.
We're skiing or snowboard.
Yes,
look,
I'll tube.
Hopefully you're talking about the real slopes.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are real mountains out there.
That is at the lounge.
Yeah, those are right.
Yeah. You want to go snowboarding with me?
Those are.
I'm a chill seeker, not a thrill seeker.
Oh, I like that.
Okay, so you'll keep the hot chocolate on deck.
Exactly. I'll have food on deck for us, and I'll just be chilling in the hot tub until you get back.
I need to know.
And have the laptop ready so we can podcast
Denver, I
as soon as we
want
fall.
to either a mansion or a
whole house,
a cabin.
Yeah. Okay.
Like something that has like the pool the pool table, bar, gazebo, blah blah blah. A shot. That's what it's called.
Okay, nice.
Somebody told me, they was like, get a chalet. I was like, what the hell's that? That sounds fancy.
What? Nobody speaking Spanish to me. What?
But I think I like it.
That sounds like some home away shit, like legitimately.
Yeah, it's my 30th birthday, so we're gonna do something a little special.
Absolutely. Yeah, I do.
You know what I'm saying? We might have top hats and bow ties on.
I like. Hey, in Denver, that works. We can reenact that scene from
Chyna, that includes you too.
From Dumb and Dumber. Because when they in Denver, when they was in that lodge with the goofy orange and blue suits on, and he walked in and hit him in the back of the leg with that cane, that was Denver, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure. It
definitely was.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, that's perfect. There we go. We got our suits.
You can't see my face, but there's
just walk up, slap him with the cane.
There's a look of disappointment. I'll send out a meme of my facial expression right now. But yeah, like so. As you see, I've already been drinking, so everything's good. Life's good. I'll listen to the recording and see how everybody else's week and life has been.
Yeah, it was all right.
What's our next Rage Out thing? But yeah, if you want to be down for Mr. Brent's 30th birthday, let me know.
Extravaganza.
Send out in the chats, the group. Send me a Twitter.
Okay, so the first one we did.
Yeah, the first bit we did was talking about people upset about parents kissing their kids in the mouth or on the mouth.
Yeah,
not in the mouth.
How old are the kids?
This one, the one, or David Beckham's kid was 5.
I was just curious.
David Beckham's kid was 5.
5.
Oh, okay.
Not even double digits.
Right.
So
yeah.
And
if they're like 15.
Yeah, I think it gets weird after a certain age, but it doesn't get weird. It just gets, oh, okay.
Yeah.
My aunt Sheila's like in her 50s, and my grandpa's in his 80s, and they still kiss each other on the lips.
See, that's the thing. I feel like that's the thing.
If that's your family norm, do it.
Yeah, exactly. That's
at
my
the end of the day,
too.
I don't really care. Like, it doesn't hurt me. It doesn't, whatever.
Right, and we were basically talking about like how like we think people are getting mad because like they either are over sexualizing something that doesn't need to be over sexualized, or they're being it's perversion, or
they just straight up lack perspective.
Exactly.
But if my mom or dad kissed me on the lips today,
that'd be hilarious. I'd laugh
so
hard.
We might have to have a standoff. Like,
it'd be funny. I would love to see it. That'd be so good because I know Britt would be like, what the hell was that?
Yo,
I mean, had it been
like, we about to throw these hands. Like, what are you doing?
Let me unexpected.
If it was if it was a slip up, you were going for one cheek, they were going for a different cheek or for another cheek, and then just whoops.
No,
this isn't like an Eminem song. Like, oops, well, slip, fell, tripped.
Whose dick are you falling on in a hug?
It's not one of those. Like, you clearly know, cheek to cheek. Like, somebody has to turn. You plant one. Like, one's given permission, the other one's taking. Like, for you to meet lip to lip. What the hell was you doing? Like, what was you doing? Trying to kiss the corner of each other's face?
That's like you're getting real European right there.
Yeah, but if it's that culture, then hey, do whatever. Like, in Japan,
we do have.
Don't you throw Japan in this?
Right. Yeah, we do have. I mean,
when in doubt, talk about Japan.
Some countries don't have like. It's funny to see like the difference between countries that have like a lot of contact in greetings and everything, and then like countries that like don't have any
or don't have this type of shit listed as taboo. I mean, hell, for example, Europe. They show nudity on TV like it's nothing. It's the violence.
Yeah, they don't do balance.
It's the violence when it's a complete opposite for America.
Yeah,
it's like we over sexualize the violence.
Yeah,
and are super sensitive regarding sexual matters. Yeah. And this was one of those cases.
Sex takes a little bit more.
Again, the perfect example is when they show like they'll use boobs to sell burgers, but then they get offended when a mom is breastfeeding her child.
Right, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Which is, it's a whole nother can of worms. Is that because the country was built? Because the country was built by when the Pilgrims were prudes, right? Or was it the other way around? I always get that mixed up.
No, the Pilgrims, like Puritans. Yeah.
So the Pilgrims were Puritans.
Yeah. No, not always. That wasn't always the case. Here, like my history, my history's spotty right now.
That's the thing I always mix up because I always try to mentally use that as an example. Like, well, everybody that got here was like, ooh, like hoity-toity, and then like they were like, those people in Europe were just over there fucking and being weird. We had to get out of there. But I know I always get it backwards. So I'm like, damn it.
I thought
I always get it backwards. It's probably not that way, which fucks up my whole argument.
Well, I know Australia was criminals. Was more like criminals.
They're all shit. Either way.
I love that so much.
I kind of lost where that went. This is where that came from. It's like,
Yo, somebody in Australia listening just slapped their phone off the. Bam.
crikey, the fuck?
So what was the other topic that y'all hit? Breastfeeding.
No, that wasn't even a topic. Shane just
man.
that was just in there.
Okay.
Oh, y'all was just freestyling.
Well, that was the first topic we discussed.
Yeah,
Shayna
as
set
far
fire
as
to shit?
The
Yes,
first
she's
one was
back.
no, the first one was just the kids thing.
yeah.
The second one,
next one, this will still be on kids. Let's just here's this next topic. As far as normally when it comes to us discussing things that people are outraged over,
right?
We sit there and look and see. Was like, okay, hold on. Did they overreact? Or were they justified in that reaction as far as being outraged?
And then I usually try to find out like age and that kind of stuff to try to develop some kind of sense of state of mind profile.
Yeah. Now with this topic here, I want to flip this on y'all.
Okay.
As far as where you all go. Now this has been something that I didn't realize was already being debated.
Okay.
And it wasn't until I recently came across this article on my timeline.
Right.
And the question was asked, is pedophilia a sexual orientation?
Oh man, yeah, I saw that.
So this doctor from the, so here we go. This doctor, Dr. James Cantor, is from the Center for Addiction and Mental Health. And he spent the last decade on this research. And he has shown, or this doctor has shown pedophilia is like a sexual orientation, a deep attraction that cannot change. Now, pedophiles who have never molested children are seeking social acceptance. I clipped, that's the clip that I took from this article. I didn't go into further research as far as the details, as far as what was found in that research, things of that nature. I just wanted to just toss a grenade.
Oh man, that's
I just wanted to toss a grenade in the room and see what happens on this. So, thoughts?
Brent, you want to start this off?
Shit.
I like your reaction already.
All right. A sexual orientation. So my thoughts when you just hit me with this, I feel like if it comes out that it is a sexual orientation.
I mean, it wouldn't come out that way. It would have to be decided on by
I mean,
society.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
speaking of coming out,
made that this becomes a sexual orientation.
No pun
I
intended.
would say you're in the wrong century.
Right,
If this was like, early Greek.
Is he gonna say that? I thought he was gonna say like Game of
Athens,
Thrones time.
You know what I'm saying? We had Roman Colosseums and Greeks, slept with kids and guys and all that other type of stuff. Like, and that was the norm. Then there would be social acceptance. But at this point in time, I would say in time, messing with 13-year-olds and whatever, like underage kids, is not accepted anymore. And
hasn't been for a long time.
You know what I'm saying? But I know it still happens in the world. There's still people having kids at 13, 14, 15. People are 10, 20 years older than them.
Will this include arranged marriages?
Huh?
Would arranged marriages, would that be included, or are we just we'll put a pin in that, but push that out to the side?
I feel like we have to kind of separate that.
When you say arranged marriage, like what age are they actually getting married? Like, that's what I don't understand about. Because most people I know with arranged marriage are waiting to like 18 to 21 before they actually get married.
Well, the thing is, in some cases, it's younger than that, like 16, 15, etc.
Or 12 to 14.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
Shit like that.
But that's when they're actually getting married?
Yeah.
It's been cases,
absolutely.
not cases,
like
but
people I know of. So
right. Yeah, I know what you're
saying. That that's not true. So I'll agree with what you all are saying.
Right.
I don't know how I feel about calling it a sexual orientation.
Yeah, it seems, I don't know. I don't think it works.
Yeah. That's the funny thing about, because like I kind of wanted to be along that same line when you were talking about the media discussion. Yeah. As far as like, well, where do we go as far as moving the goalpost or moving the fence post and things of that nature? And as far as with that, as far as it being considered a sexual orientation, right? That is kind of odd to do in a sense that with heterosexuality or homosexuality, these aren't things that are like, these aren't things as far as, you have a choice in the matter to not do this, or you have a choice in the matter to not do that. It was like, no, these are people's feelings. These are their urges as far as from a that's their state of mind.
Right.
However, as far as acting on those urges with heterosexuality and with homosexuality. Now, granted, there are well, hold on, let me get to that. As far as acting on those urges, it can be acted on in a consensual manner.
Right.
As far as labeling pedophilia as a sexual orientation, as far as acting on that, a lot of times, way too many times when it comes to pedophilia, as far as the only instance that I am aware of, it is acted on in a predatory manner.
There's a level of manipulation. Usually.
There's a level of manipulation. There's a level of not both partners not having, or even if this was quote unquote consensual,
right?
Which we have like statutory rape as far as like rules and things of that nature, as far as only a certain age where they have the consent and things of that nature. As far as or are they mature? Or is the partner that is willingly able to do this? Are they mature enough to sit there and act upon this? Is this something that they really wanted? Are they being manipulated? Are they being, as far as I feel, as far as with pedophilia, I wouldn't be comfortable considering that a sexual orientation strictly because the action comes across, or the action of acting on those urges is kind of predatory in nature.
Right.
In
Okay.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you for breaking that down.
Yeah.
Because my thing is, what is the point in even making it, by making it a sexual orientation? Does that make it okay?
Right.
Like, what's the point? What are you aiming at? What's the point? Like,
that's
what I don't understand with a lot of these labels. So it's like, sure, it has a label now, but it doesn't fucking matter. Like, call it whatever you want. It doesn't bother me none, or it does.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Like, in this instance, it doesn't matter. It's still not okay. Are you trying to make it okay? Like,
right, yeah. And
that's
sense,
what I was wondering myself. Sorry. I was like, how does this label help in any way? Because at the end of the day,
it's still wrong.
Like, you're still gonna fall into the category of either your homosexuality or heterosexual.
Yeah.
Or so what does pedophilia have to do? Like, you're a label within a label. Like, you're a subgenre of something. Like, it doesn't change. Like, I don't understand why this niche. Nah, I'm not gonna call it a niche.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Why this?
Urge.
Urge.
We'll call it an urge for lack of a better word.
Yeah, right, yeah, exactly.
Why this has to be pointed out as its own thing, because it doesn't change. Like, it's not like you're going like, I'm a heterosexual pedophile, like, you know what I'm saying, or a homosexual pedophile. Like, it doesn't matter, because you're still in the umbrella of your a pedophile.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a positive thing.
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
like,
the more go ahead.
Like, pedophilia, it admits that you are preying or taking advantage, or you're some way predator of
underage,
younger people who don't have power, like, who doesn't have power or basically choice.
Right.
More or less. I think that's kind of
it's
like I'm pushing the line on the way I phrase that.
I'm very surprised that just in general that he was
the doctor.
The doctor that he felt the need to pursue this research.
I got one. Would you call this a porn category? Like, if you wouldn't select this, I mean, not select this, but if you wouldn't see this on a porn site, that's not. I don't think it needs to be I don't think it needs to be a thing.
Now that you mentioned it, there actually is a Japanese porn star who is a male, and he has a growth defect.
Okay.
To where he looks like a boy,
but he's older though.
Yes.
Yeah.
No. He said, "Is there a category for that?"
Oh, you mean
in a sense?
I mean,
in a way.
Called pedophile?
No,
I don't know what they call it.
I don't think so. No.
I have to relook it up.
No, it's like some.
If it's
like
not called pedophilia, then what are we talking about? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
What person
in that
is going
sense,
up
it's
looking
still
at pedophilia like as a thing on a porn site?
Right.
Well, we were just talking about a second ago regarding people having or getting their panties in a bunch.
Tidy whities.
Their tidy whities in a bunch. Regarding parents kissing regarding parents kissing their kids on the mouth.
Right.
And here we are. We literally have porno categories that are stepdad, stepmom,
yeah,
brother, sister type shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just like,
I don't believe those. I think those are just for people's weird fetishes.
But that's
like,
the thing.
I don't really think
that's the
most
thing.
of those,
like it's not.
90% of those people are like really
it's
their
still
stepdad,
there.
stepmom.
It's still
saying
there
it's
is still
there.
a category there. Like we
Right.
watch superhero movies. Chris Evans isn't really Captain America.
Right.
Well,
But
true.
there's still a video. There's still videos of him doing this, and it's still a thing. It is a thing. It's not whether it's true to life or
right.
This
No, it's
rape
still true to life.
fantasies
That's
in
still true to
porn
life.
categories.
Yeah.
Like we do have blue people in Kentucky.
Well, yeah, okay.
That's all I'm saying. So there are people who are messing with their
Wait,
fathers, sisters,
nigga, what?
brothers, mothers, stepmothers, things like that. Like that is a real thing. There are blue people. If you haven't realized it,
You're talking about what's the name
in Kentucky.
You're talking about
and go down that rabbit hole.
You're talking about what's the name? You're talking about
You're welcome.
Like wrong turn type shit.
No, he's talking about incest. That's what he's talking about.
Yeah,
Incest.
like wrong,
there's
like
stuff
the niggas in wrong turn.
Yeah. The guys
Okay.
Yeah.
As far as like defected because of inbreeding and shit like
exactly.
that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's like people really get off on that. Like that's their thing.
What?
Blue people. I've never heard of that.
Yeah. No,
You haven't heard the blue people of Kentucky?
I've never heard it. Like that phrasing. No.
The other interesting thing is.
This is kind of man. It's crazy.
Now this is kind of interesting thing. It kind of goes hand in hand with that. I mean, the incest part obviously has its negative.
You're welcome.
Things. You was but there's also pockets. I don't know if they've been completely shifted yet, but there were as recent as like early 2000s and like late 90s. There were pockets of communities in Kentucky in the mountains that still spoke Dutch and Swedish.
Okay.
Because from when their family got off the boat to America, they went into these communities and that was it. So they still spoke their native language.
Yeah.
They still spoke their native language. Yeah. So that's the interesting thing about it. Like you see shit like that too.
Yeah, I just want to point out, you sound like a weatherman when you was talking about that. There are still small pockets.
Yeah.
I was waiting on you to like
still
look
small
and, like,
pockets of
show
thunderstorms.
a map.
Yeah, I know.
Another
like,
bit.
Need a whiteboard.
Another interesting little thing to throw out there is let's shake the table a little bit more. Fuck it.
Yeah, because I mean, let's go ahead and say this now because somebody will absolutely say this if they listen to this, but then also people will respect the fact that we're discussing it at all. This could easily, when you bring it up, be like, ew, no, pedophilia is gross. Fuck out of here. And then that'd be it. But that'd be a pretty boring podcast, wouldn't it? So here's the thing. Like, actually having these conversations, as fucked up as it is, the subject matter, it's still stuff that is being obviously pursued by somebody in our society. So it's something that you kind of want to discuss because you're like, because like along the lines of like what Brent was pretty much saying is like, what the fuck is he trying to do? Like, why is he? Well, like, what's the point?
Well, that's the thing. Like, I glanced over this when I was reading the clip, but the point blank period, he is a doctor for the center, or he's a doctor in the Center for Addiction and Mental Health.
Interesting.
So
America or I mean, it doesn't.
It really doesn't have like it does. Well, from what I can see right now, it doesn't list that at all. Center for Addiction and Mental Health.
Right. So
now, as far as to bring that up is regarding like, well, I have to, as far as pedophilia being listed as a mental health thing,
right?
It wasn't very long ago when homosexuality was listed as a thing that people had problems with as far as mental health. Right. I think they still have fucking conversion camps or some shit like that, or like pray the gay away type shits.
Right. Yeah.
So
Bible camps and stuff like that.
So it's interesting as far as for that to be brought up is like, as far as the climate in society, there is a very good chance that this, well, granted, this being listed as a mental health or a thing that people have an addiction towards, that is, the more you can know about something, the better you can either understand it, or as they sit there and say, an ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure. As far as if, with the climate, will that be looked at as something that needs to be resolved, as far as trying to find ways to sit there and kind of, for lack of better words, cure pedophilia? Or will that go later down the line as something that is straight up accepted in society?
It's interesting. The thing is, given his background, and the fact that he is in that position that he is in, it's interesting that he. Because you would think, in his position, dealing with what he probably deals with, that by it being, I guess you could say, looked at and viewed in society the way it is, and classified criminally the way it is, it would in some way make it where he can use that to hopefully make people understand the issues with this particular thing. You don't, if you're a counselor or a psychiatrist for criminals, murderers, whatever, you don't find ways to be like, yeah, he's a murderer, but what if we looked at murder with a knife differently? Because that kind of murder's not really that bad of murder. It's actually gun murder that's bad murder. It's like, what the fuck does the... It's bad. Like,
hey,
I don't... You what? Go ahead.
My bad. Whatever, you want to say something? My bad.
Oh, well, in a sense, as far kind of, I'm kind of getting where you're going with, and then it kind of, well, yeah, I kind of get what you're saying. And as far as it wasn't very long ago, it was not very long ago when homosexuality was a criminal offense.
Right, absolutely.
It's not very long. I mean, it's literally happening now where people are trying to be converted from gay to straight.
Yeah.
There is, as far as, as an example regarding this center for addiction and mental health, for them to look into it and stuff like that, it kind of goes along the same lines of like people doing brain scans of serial killers, like if you saw from Dexter or some shit like that.
Oh, yeah,
it's like, okay, so what is it that goes through the mind, or what is it are they a product of environment? Are there certain factors that come into play?
Is there something on a chemical level?
Yeah, for people to interact or for people to act in a certain way, or why they had these inclinations, why they would have these urges or things of that nature.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it is interesting as far as which side of the seesaw that will go into. Right. Will it go into such a thing of as, okay, it's serial killers have this certain trait or have this certain type of personality. Look out for this. Let's work on preventing it. Here are ways to prevent it. Here are ways to sit there and interact with these people and such. Or will it go on the seesaw where it's like, okay, they're here, they can come out of the closet as far as what their urges are, accept them as they are, work with them, try to communicate with them, and accept them.
Okay, so I'm gonna make two different points. Well, one, I'm gonna play devil's advocate for a second, and then the other one, I'm gonna make a point. So, with the notion of trying to make people accept it, I want to say that pedophilia is probably one of the few life sentences you get. Like, once you're labeled that, like, there's no turning back. Like, whether you did it or didn't, whether you was 16 messing with a minor, whatever, like, however you fall into that category,
turning 18 messing with someone that was 17,
like, you know what I'm saying? Like, once you're labeled that, it sticks with you for life, because you're on the sites, all this and that, and there's like, everybody automatically thinks the most heinous thing possible when you think of that, right? Like, usually, no matter if you're labeled a pedophile, then it's basically like
the most negative connotation, the most negative, image in your mind as far as this type of person,
right? So I get that there would be a person that's trying to figure out how to make it like people more acceptable, like, especially if maybe they were falsely accused, maybe they went through and they made their mistake. Like, I don't know. I'm not trying to make a pass for anybody. So,
well, now that makes me think.
When do people become acceptable again? Because that's like a true life sentence. Like, once you become a pedophile, like, that's it. Like, you're the worst of the worst, the scum of the scum. Basically.
Usually that's usually how that's depicted. Yeah. Well, now that kind of makes me also. I kept bringing up homosexuality as an example because he's literally trying or asking this question as if it should be listed as a sexual preference. Right. However, this is still the Center for Mental Health that could also go along the lines of people with schizophrenia, people that are autistic, people that have post-traumatic stress disorders, people that have bipolar disorders and things of that nature. At one point, these people were demonized. They were, as far as asylums and sanitariums and shit like that, that was also something that was kind of very barbaric in and of itself in its infancy, as far as that goes. So, but we've grown to kind of get an idea about these type of symptoms and things of that nature that also could kind of go along the lines of that. I'm sorry, go ahead.
So on that point, let's stay right there.
Okay.
So I'm gonna try devil's advocate, like maybe for a second, like just see if this will work. So this person, let's say they look at pedophilia as basically as a extension of cougarism, or somebody who is older preying on or messing
sugar
with
daddy
somebody
or sugar
who's
mama type shit.
Huh?
Sugar daddy or sugar mama type shit.
Yeah. Right. What if you look at it from that aspect? There are certain 70-year-old people who are messing with 30-year-old people. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like that in itself, if you did an age range, that'd be pedophile. Like that would be, you clearly are messing with somebody way younger. You know what I'm saying? Like in a different way. And I understand the idea of that. Basically with younger people, like they don't have certain rights or abilities or you're preying on. But let's just stick with the preying on somebody kind of focus between age gaps.
Okay.
What if they were really thinking of this as like pedophilia is basically some people like they're 30 and they like 17-year-olds or 15-year-olds. What if they say it's like, how's that any different from somebody who's 60 who likes 30-year-olds?
Well, the thing is, with pedophilia, it is literally those that have not yet reached the age of either adulthood or age of consent.
That's what I was thinking.
Age of consent is what, 15, 16?
It depends on the
state by state.
It depends on the
where,
country.
Yeah,
it depends on a lot of different factors, and that kind of always threw me off.
Would be what, 18 or 25?
What'd you say?
For Kentucky is 16.
Yeah, Kentucky's 16.
Adulthood is 16?
No. Age of consent for Kentucky is 16.
Oh, okay. What is adulthood? Typically, are we talking maturing of the brain, or are we talking like 18 or 21 when you have like most rights, or are we talking like when you're mentally
far as
developed?
I know,
by
if
law,
you can be tried as an
exactly.
can you be tried? Well, you can be tried as an adult at 13 and shit like that.
I mean,
or like at different ages and shit,
well,
like as a child. But as far
where
typically,
it's not an option.
Typically,
if you're 18, you're not
in America.
Tried as
Yes, in America, if you are
there's
typically 18, then you are labeled as an adult in America.
Exactly.
In America,
that's the biggest thing. I think it's usually in America it's usually based on age of 18, and I think the biggest thing as far as like the difference coming from what you said, Brent, whether it's like if there's like a 70-year-old person messing with a 30-year-old person, whatever, I think it's the biggest thing, the biggest argument I think that people would make, and I think the biggest argument that like probably pediatric-based scientists and health professionals and stuff would make as well is there's a level of maturity, there's a level of...
Just because you're aged, I mean you're mature, so...
Not
very
that
true. Shit, look at us.
That's real. Like just because of a certain age don't mean you're mature.
Not like
it
that.
It doesn't mean that you know your body. It doesn't mean you know the rules and regulations of the world around you.
I don't mean like that. Yeah, because I know 18's not 18. They're not going to know everything, but there's a certain level that you get to when you get to the age of 18.
Yeah, that's just the parameter that's kind of been set in a sense.
It is,
yeah. I mean,
yeah.
All right.
I'm so in this instance, like straight up with the question that it asks, is that a sexual orientation? I don't believe that could be listed as an orientation.
So. No.
As far as it being listed as as far as it being listed as an issue from a mental health standpoint, I'm much more comfortable labeling it that way.
Right.
Especially if there are as far as like help groups or clinics or things of that nature, as far as helping people with this manner, more than, as you mentioned, labeling them, chastising them. And as soon as somebody's labeled that, whether like even like as you mentioned before, like boyfriend and girlfriend 17, the dude turns 18, parents don't like their relationship, boom, he could be labeled for statutory rape right then and there. And like here he is like ostracized or is sit there and labeled for the rest of his life off of just like maybe like what, a couple months.
Yep.
Or even hell, literally like a day or some shit like that.
I do want to say that this is a new phenomenon. Like all throughout history, this has been accepted, not accepted, accepted again, like all throughout history. So this isn't like a new thing or a new movement or anything like that. Like just people understand like, you know, how, you know, at different times it's just like, you know, this things are accepted, things are not accepted. Like there's nothing to say in 20 years or 30 years that this can't be an acceptable thing. Mm-hmm. I doubt it, but you know what I'm saying? This can't be an acceptable thing again because it's happened throughout history multiple times. So it's not a new thing where that's why I don't want to call it like a mental health thing, because it seems to be in some way like human nature for certain people.
What type of people? Well, that's the thing.
I mean,
because like what,
just,
like,
you know, subscribes to this, you know, want or liking or things like that, like
what's
it's kind of weird, because I would say if you're saying like, hey, if an older person thinks a person who's like under, you know, who's a minority is cute, hot, attractive, this and that, they're a pedophile, you're gonna have a whole lot more pedophiles out there in the world labeled that, because there's clearly guys and, you know, women and men who don't know the age of a person, who clearly thinks, oh, they're hot, this and that, or, you know, they're looking at them as like eye candy, just as they would any other woman. And then they don't realize that, hey, they're only a certain age.
Right.
Now, do they act on that action or that look? Probably not. You know what I'm saying? I think that's kind of what makes the difference. But if you just label it as like, oh, you're not, you know, if you find certain age or younger attractive and you're a certain age, then you're going to make a lot more people like more. There's a whole lot more pedophiles in the world than what people are thinking. And it's weird to say, but like it's a weird concept. Like the whole thing that they're trying to bring up is just kind of a weird way to try to normalize it. I don't think it's ever going to be normalized, like not in our day and age. No. Different parts of the world it could be, depending on where you are. So if that's your thing, go to that part of the world and don't, you know, do consent. Don't just be out there being a predator.
Right.
What's the next thing?
Well, that was like I was kind of expecting that went way longer than I expected it to.
I mean, I figured it would.
But that was a good topic. Like, you know, it was
very interesting as far as like throwing it out there. Yeah. And like the fact that we still don't have all the answers on it.
Right, yeah.
That's what's even doper about it. As far as like still trying to peel. Yeah.
The thing is, anybody can throw out and just say, yeah, it's bad. Well, yeah, we know that, but let's have a discussion on why this is a topic. Let's not have a discussion on, it's bad, not good, good, not bad. Like, okay, anybody can say those words. What the fuck is going on here? Let's have a discussion on why this is coming up, etc. Which is what needs to be done.
But I agree with you, Webb. I do agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all agree on that point that we don't think it's going to be what's name.
No.
Yeah.
I don't believe that. No.
Yeah.
Well, fuck it. Well, how much time we got? Because like we could probably just jump into.
How much time you got?
What's your clock?
1:30. It's hour 30 right now. Okay. Of my clock. So probably like an hour 15.
Anybody have? Let's lighten the mood up.
That works.
Do another. Yes.
No, let's lighten the mood. What is or have y'all came across any memes that y'all really enjoyed as of this week?
Oh damn it! I usually have one. I don't know if I have one. Let me see. Hold on.
Well, I've been getting a kick out of the bits with Rob Kardashian and Black Chyna as far as some of the memes that came about.
I forgot about that.
As far
yeah.
I forgot all that shit went down this week.
As far as
that was a good one.
There's
a conceited meme that has him with a cup in his hand. He's always like he always has that like, man, please, whatever. Like you, like That's the meme. I have to find it real quick and I'll send it to you all.
Yeah. So they were. So when the pictures got leaked of this dude that's pretty much Black Chyna's side piece, I guess.
Yeah.
That was cheating on, or she was cheating on Rob with, or which was probably more than one, if anything. So this one girl, it's hilarious as far as the girls that kind of condone what Black Chyna did, because then you realize it's like, okay, thank you for bringing your head assness to the forefront. So I can make sure not to follow you. So I can make sure not want anything to do with you on my timeline.
Yeah, exactly.
So this chick sit there and put pictures of the side dude. Online.
Oh my God, I know. I think I know what you're.
And she sit there put, it's like, if I was Chyna, I would have cheated on Rob with him too.
Yes.
And then she sit there and put the little shrug emoji, and then somebody sit there and took a picture of her avatar, of her profile pic.
Yep.
And she's actually kind of pretty, but
yeah, she is.
She has a bra for what looks to be I would say an A cup. That's being generous.
Yeah.
And he put the picture up, and he replied saying, "Actually, you should be dating Rob Kardashian because your bra is doing the same thing he's doing, trying to hold on to something that ain't there."
I see that one. Yeah, I know. I saw it yesterday. I was dying. I was like, that's ridiculous. I was like, so stupid.
You're on the Marco.
So stupid.
Don, DeMarco. Can I get a cue of that? Hold on, let me see if I can find one of those.
Slow it down. I just dissed you. Shout out to Conceited. It's
So stupid.
Shout out to Conceited.
Nah.
Zip them up.
So that was that one got to me. I thought that one was pretty funny.
That was good.
That was. Can anyone else think of anything at this moment?
I'm trying to think.
Well, or do y'all have any thoughts on the whole Black Chyna Rob Kardashian bit?
I don't know.
Because I really don't. Because anything that could be said, you need that at the ready.
You need
that at the ready.
For every show, it'll be ready now.
All right. All right.
I don't really have anything about it. Do you? Anybody else have anything about it?
I mean, hell, you knew what the fuck you were getting into.
Right. I mean,
and especially, to get back on, and then for her to already be fucking somebody, or that was like fucking with Tyga, who's fucking with your sister.
Yeah, it was weird.
And so how are you gonna sit and like they don't have Tyga and Blac Chyna don't have a kid together.
Do they? I thought they did. Do they?
Do they?
I thought they did.
Well, either way, that's still fucking gross.
To the Google machine.
What did you
if
say?
that's true.
They have a son.
They do have a son. That's right, they do.
Ugh.
That's
Chyna
what I
knows these
thought.
things.
That's
Ew.
right. I thought they did. I couldn't remember.
How are you and
my other?
how are you and your brother-in-law Eskimo brothers?
One of my one of my favorite memes, and they used it a lot on this one when it came out, and everybody was like, yeah, like the same thing you said, where it was just like, yeah, like you didn't know this was gonna happen. Like, is the one of the short-haired girl?
Oh,
where she just like looks and she's like,
where she kind of looks like,
she's like
kind of looking like Ann.
Yeah, she's like Ann. I love that one so much.
And Snoop, I forgot Snoop had this video talking about it. Like, man, y'all quit bringing me into this, asking my opinion, man.
Yeah.
It's like she saw a sucker and she licked it. And then
like,
he said some other shit, but that was the line that stuck with me. It's like,
he said,
right, Snoop.
Don't be a sucker, be the liquor.
Yeah.
Jesus. Okay.
I was like, that was a little weird, but
Sorry.
I get what you're saying. A sucker's made every 5 seconds.
Good job, Uncle Snoop. Appreciate you.
Have y'all talked Jay-Z?
Yeah, we did.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Oh, well,
no, go ahead. What you about to say?
No, I'll listen.
See, as you missed,
I'll find out.
Missed half the show.
I wanted to hear what Gary's thoughts was.
I mean, I want
and Chyna, but I'll listen to it. I'll listen to it, man.
All right. Well, if you guys want to, we can wrap up right there.
Yeah, we
Hold up.
probably should.
Yeah.
Live show next week. Be on the lookout.
Yep.
All right. I'm gonna be Facebook Live and shit.
I tell you, I'm gonna we'll do that next. So are we doing Saturday, right? Because Sunday I have something to do.
I mean, we can handle that off air if you want to.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
We won't go super. We won't go super inside baseball.
I broadcast all the dirty laundry.
Right, guys. Thank you.
Facebook Live and YouTube.
Or, and maybe Twitch. I don't know. We'll see. If I can do all of them at the same time. We'll do.
If you want to be on an episode of OAF Discussions, please reach out. Say something to us. Talk to us.
Send your
get you on
emails to oafdiscussions@gmail.com. Drop questions or anything like that in the Facebook group, facebook.com/group/OAFdiscussions. Oafdiscussion.com is where you can go. That takes you straight to the site. And then also we are on all podcast providers, whether it's iTunes,
Stitcher,
Podbean, Stitcher, the whole 9 yards. Google Play.
Google Play.
All that good stuff for
find
all you Androids, for all you robots.
And maybe SoundCloud.
Yeah, SoundCloud. We'll probably start doing snippets on there because SoundCloud's real stingy about their space unless you're paying money.
One thing real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
We've had a couple of discussions going on in the Facebook group. One on what hoes do better than what hoes are doing that's stopping y'all from getting a man. That was a weird article.
Yeah, right.
There's been some good discussions going on there, good conversation or good comments posted on there. Right. You'll see me posting every now and then, practically every day. Yeah, you know, when I see something interesting that comes along, I'll drop it in there. So feel free to chime in, throw your opinions out, say what you like, you dislike, things like that. So, join us, have fun.
Yeah. Thank you guys as always. I am at K and Kiss Swift. The web is at WEBB859.
You acting like Brent with Oafdiscussions.
Brent is at LLCoolB22 and Chyna is at Chyna MB. You can follow the podcast on Twitter as well. It's at Oafdiscussions. We come to you every week with all the good stuff that affects us throughout the week and all the stuff that pissed off everyone and us throughout the week as well. We will see you guys next time. We love you guys. We're out of here. Peace.
Deuces.
For the culture.
Arrivederci.